Hello guys, welcome to this weekly analysis video. I think this is episode 3 or 4, I can't remember the exact number. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend and are ready for a wicked week in the markets, because there's actually some really good opportunity from what I've seen so far. So I'm going to take you through the pairs and just see what I'm seeing for the week and what could potentially happen in my eyes, and see if we can jump in with some good trades. So we'll start off Aussie dollar. Now I am currently in a short on Aussie dollar. As you can see on the screen here, I'm into 1 to 11 potential. I am going to be looking for some re-entries, but what I'm going to do is take you through my, how I ended up getting into this trade, and then what I'm looking for in terms of re-entries. So we're going to keep this all here, and I'm going to head to the daily chart. So just get rid of this. We'll keep that there. Take you off. Lovely. Okay, so what we can see from daily charts, we did break structure. Obviously, we're heavily bearish, so I was ideally looking at some shorts based on that. And you can see we did break structure, and then we started dipping, and then we're looking for some retracement into the premium areas of supply. This was the only clear supply that I could see on the daily chart. I didn't think there was anything relevant in this area, because there was quite a lot of imbalance in the lower time frames in here. So this was the area I was looking to target. And as you can see, price did come into that area. And so what I did was then just look for my entry criteria from that zone. So I went down to the hourly, and what we could see was right in the zone, the first tap here, we ended up rejecting off of it. Now, usually with the first tap into the zone, I like to see that taken out, because we want to see some sort of liquidity being swept in the zone, because then that means there's nothing left up here for price to want to go up for, unless it is just generally like changing trend direction. So we saw liquidity taken twice. You can see we got manipulated sellers twice, and also buyers, because they obviously thought that this was demand, manipulated them, as you can see here. So it's like a load of hands changing over, and this is why I like this model, because once you see liquidity being swept, you know that people are being manipulated into buying and selling, and obviously the break of structure confirming after the liquidity sweep is also very important, because that's where buyers get manipulated, because they think that this area here is the new demand because it shifted a new high. Actually, no, it's not. It's actually part of the same model to just take people's money and then carry out its true direction. So that's why my rules in a zone are very important, because it makes sure you're avoided out of all of that shifting, which obviously saves your capital, which is the main important goal in trading, obviously. So obviously we saw liquidity swept twice, and then what I was waiting for is obviously this area here. This demand was the demand that effectively pushed the new high and swept out this liquidity, so it is actually considered a strong demand because it did print a new high. So I wanted to see that area broken, and as you can see, we did get that break eventually. And so all I was looking for was an entry. Originally I was looking at this area right here for my entry, which you can see was very close to wicking in, but didn't do so. But I done something a little bit different this time, and used what's known as a psychological level. So you can see the supply area I was looking at sits nicely on that 0.65000 level, which is actually a psychological level. Now, if you don't know much about psychological levels, I will be doing a video in that on Monday the 31st, because I promised my Discord fam that I would do that for them. And obviously in this case, you can see the psychological entry did actually help me out, and currently running at about, I think that's 3.5% out of a total of 11. So that's going very well. In terms of re-entries, I'll just be looking at the same model. So I'm just gonna take that off of the hours for now. So in terms of re-entries, what I'll be looking for is obviously we'll just do the same model again. The hourly will act as the higher time frame, and then entries from the lower time frame, which will be the minute, and then just go for this exact same model as what I've just executed on the hourly and the daily. So just basically shifting time frames, making use of them all really. So we've got this bearish breaker structure, and if we use our GAN box, you can see that we have quite a solid area that we could look for some sells if we do get a retracement into the area. Potential 15-minute area in here, which could be very, actually looks quite nice in there, but I'm going to be a little bit cautious about that one. You know, I'll probably take that one off. I'd like to see price come into here for a safer entry, but that's everything on Aussie dollar, and I'll just be looking to take this down into, you know, one of these lows, probably this one here, probably this demand, because it sort of sourced the whole move to the upside, so I'll probably be looking at lows into there because this looks like the most relevant target. Apart from that, that is Aussie dollar. And for those of you that didn't see where's my thing gone? So I did put this trade up on my Instagram, I believe, which I'll leave at the top somewhere, you know, around here. I'll figure out how to put it on the screen for you, so you can go and have a look. I do shout out some trade ideas on there, so you guys can take advantage of some, you know, freebies of what I'm looking at. But yeah, that's Aussie dollar. So we're going to move on to the DXY. So DXY is another thing I'm looking to get involved in, and I did put this on my Instagram as well. So my trade idea was a source from the daily. You can see we're clearly bullish, and I was looking at to get some longs in this demand. And what I saw was this sort of model. So this was the area we just looked at. So it broke structure, came back down. We didn't mitigate 50% of the zone I was looking at. So this, to me, is considered inducement, or like the first tap, if you would. And then once we did come back down, I was looking for that entry model again. So liquidity sweep, which we got there, and then we got that breaker structure in there, and then we just continued upwards. And so what I'm looking at is this unmitigated wick, because we know that on the 15-minute or lower time frame, that is actually a valid zone. So it's a perfect place to get an entry in. And all I'm looking for is for price to come down and take it to the top, be about a 1 to 7% trade if that goes well. It could well just come straight through, because we didn't see a really big push from this area the first time around, so it could just completely you know, shoot through. But obviously it's this one was quite a low risk one for me because of that price action we had here, so I'm only going 0.25 on this one. So that's it for the DXY. Euro USD, so that's from a video I was doing a week ago, I believe, so ignore all that. But as you can see, we're clearly bearish, and what I was looking at is a reaction from this daily supply in here. You can see we've just tapped into that daily supply. As you know, we had this initial inducement sort of level, and what this left us was this scenario. We've got a nice bit of liquidity sitting just below an unmitigated zone. Obviously, that is beautiful to see, because usually price is going to come and take that liquidity and mitigate this zone, and we've hit quite a significant level of that zone. We could maybe retrace into it more, but again, same entry model. I didn't actually look at this one properly, but if we just do it now, we can see the first tap was here, got that liquidity sweep, and the high was up there. And in terms of structure, probably looking for this low to be taken, which it has been. So we can well and truly see some short opportunities in this sort of area, and then a switch of hands, and then shoot down after. So I'll be looking at shorts on Euro USD this week. In terms of where I would enter if this was me right now, I'd probably just consider this whole zone up here, if I'm honest, and just take a short from there, because you've got this wick here that looks very nice. Did catch a 1 to 10 on that, as you can see. But this area in here looks really nice, so you could probably just cover this whole zone, cover all of that, and then just short it from this area, cover the high, and then where that daily low was, take it down to there. And that'll be a 1 to 12 trade if that goes well. That's another freebie for you guys. If you wanted to trade this, wanted to put this on and leave it, this is potentially what could happen. It's hit all the entry requirements, so I don't see why it wouldn't happen unless it just wants to tank off and mitigate something higher in the daily. Could be this area here. Obviously, that is a possibility because this is a prediction. So don't take that as a this trade will win, because I don't know. But if you wanted to put this on, be my guest, it's quite a high probability trade because it's met all my entry requirements. I'm probably going to do it when market opens because it actually looks really nice. But that's it for Euro USD. So we're going to move on to GJ. So GJ is looking nice. You can see I caught 1 to 15 on there last week, and again, same entry requirements, guys. Yeah, so broke the structure, entry down there, and then it just absolutely tanked. So yeah, so there's our zone. First tap, liquidity sweep, look for the break of structure here, which we got, and then just look for your entry area. So you want to go as extreme as you can, because all of this in here is just a liquidity cesspool. And so I think I went in here, covered the low, something like that, and then targeted that 1 hour high, something like that. I think there's a bit of a tighter stop than that. Yeah, around something looking like that. So it's about 1 to 15, and then obviously you can see it ended up absolutely tanking in the end. There we go. So sometimes they do play around before moving up, but if you're willing to hold it out, then obviously the reward is very great. So that was 15 R. I think I bagged on that one. No, I think it was 7 actually. I think I went 0.5 on this, because I was going to hold this. When was this? This was 8 in the morning. No, this was a 4R. I think it was another pair I was trading late, and I was going to go to bed, so I put 0.5 on it. But no, this was a solid 15R move on GJ. But in terms of next week, just fast forward, get rid of that. Do the same thing again, guys. So you can see we've literally just broken structure here. And so all I'm looking for is a return to discount pricing, which there are a couple of areas I could look at. So you can see we had this wick here, which would have sat beautifully on the EQ, but then we came up and then we sort of mitigated that wick. So this wick is now the POI for me. So I'm definitely interested in that. And then I'm also interested at this extreme discounted area down here, which we could see price come into. And then obviously I'll be looking for my lower time frame entries and targeting the highs of GJ on the lower time frames. But again, it looks very nice. Hopefully we can get some entries in on there. So GU, what we've got is again similar to EU. We've just hit this daily supply area, and we're sort of seeing a reaction off of that. So we can see we've got a little mini liquidity sweep, but I probably want to see a little more change of hands in there. It's not really a clear sort of area, so I want to see how this plays out during the week, to confirm my sell bias. I'd probably want to see this low broken, and then I'd look to jump into some sells. This could well be this is still a valid entry model. You see liquidity has been taken twice in there, and we did break this structure, but ideally for me I'd want to see this low broken if I was going to set up any entries aggressive like that, because this was the one that pushed into the zone, and you can see we did push up, but this was a really strong push. So to me this isn't the strongest of zones. I did actually lose a trade on GU last week. I believe my stop was way too tight, I entered a little bit higher than I should have done. So I'll find it for you guys. I will put it on my Instagram at some point. So I entered, as you can see, I entered here, and I got stopped out for a 1% loss on this one. It would have been a good move actually, but I went back and had a look at why I lost, and what I can see was simply just a patience thing. You can see we did come, entry model was hit, we got stopped out, but you can see the same entry model happened again, and had I, gone in again, I would have made that loss back times 14. So you can see we've got our liquidity sweep here, and then we got our breaker structure to the upside there. So ideally this lovely looking wick here would have been my entry area, and you can see we got a nice little tap in there, and they actually went up to a 1 to 15, I believe, or 1 to 14. Yeah, so just under 1 to 15 before retracing. So it just shows, guys, don't don't be upset if you lose, because there'll be plenty more opportunities where that came from. Unfortunately, I was out, so I didn't actually get this one. But listen, it is what it is. I know the strategy works, so I'll be on the lookout for that one. So yeah, we're just going to wait for a little more confirmation on GU before we end up going for some shorts. Hopefully, we can find an entry on this, but at the moment we've got GJ, EU and AU are looking really, really smooth. So I'm not going to be forced anything on GU, because we've got some solid setups in the other pairs. So yeah, that's it for GU. On to NU, and what we can see again, daily supply, which has been hit, and we're getting some little retracement off of that. Just going to move these text boxes. So we're getting some sort of reaction off of this daily supply. Just zoom in, you can see where I've drawn my supply. So you can see our supply in here. We got this little inducement level, which again, as you guys know, we should, if you've been listening to the video, that the first tap normally gets taken out. So, and I don't really consider a zone mitigated until it's mitigated 50% of that zone. So you can see we've quite clearly come above the 50% area. So I'm happy that this zone has been mitigated, and you can see we're sort of rejecting it on the daily. Go down to the 1 hour. You can see I was looking for an entry model, but wasn't any clear break just yet to back my sell bias. But we have been changing hands, sweeping liquidity up here, and we can actually consider this a liquidity sweep up here as well, in this high. So all we'll be looking for this week is for price to be breaking this low, and then it'll confirm my sell bias, and I'll be jumping in for some sell opportunities on NU, and just taking it down to the daily low or any valid area that could be a good target. So we could maybe look for anything in and around this wick here. You can see it's unmitigated. That could be a good potential target area. To take some partials and then just let the rest run so we can target that low. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found it valuable as always, and if you want to see more stuff like this, I do upload daily to my Discord and also on my Instagram, which I'll leave on the screen for you now. That should be enough time. It's the first time I'm going to be editing my Instagram and Discord into a video, so if I say I'm going to put it on the screen and it doesn't appear, don't judge me, because it just means I haven't figured it out and I've got a timescale to stick to. Alright guys, have a fantastic weekend, or rest of your weekend, and a fantastic trading week, and I will see you in the next video.